Okay, I roll out of bed, I sit down, I look at my Discord. What the fuck do you mean Tanir is going to fucking Team Spirit? What? In a bombshell report dropped on HLTV this morning, it appears that after the EWC, Spirit are going to be acquiring Tanir from Heroic, and he is potentially replacing Zontix. This is a massive, massive move, as the potential firepower on Team Spirit will be more than enough to rival any team in the world, assuming there's no issues adjusting to this new environment. Let's break down all the details and try and make sense of this wild fucking move. If you guys enjoy this kind of mid-season roster content, you can show me by leaving a like, leaving a comment down below, and subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. Help me hit 10k subs by the end of the year. Also, once again, I'm still trying to hit 1,000 followers on Twitch before the Blast bounty ends. As of right now, we're sitting at 818 followers, so every little bit helps. Follow me on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. Every little bit helps me get better numbers so that I can co-stream more in the future. And lastly, I would like to thank today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by SkinsMonkey, a CS2 trading website. You put in the skins that you want to trade, you select what you want, you use my code LionHeartZ for up to $5 off, or click the top link in the description, and boom, new drip.
Nice.
You can also use my code for a 35% deposit bonus if you want to buy with real money. And they have a free section with cool giveaways. So check the top link in the description, use my code to buy 15 Dragon Lores to let them know I sent you their way, and thank you to SkinsMonkey for sponsoring this video. Okay, so there are a lot of moving parts here, so we're going to take it one step at a time. Let's talk about what's going on with Heroic. Heroic have obviously been in a very weird spot where they've made several roster moves as of recently. Grix has been benched, they're bringing up Alcaran from Spirit Academy, and now Tanir is leaving, and xCloud is coming back into the lineup off of the bench. Heroic themselves have stated, and you can read all of this on the HLTV reports, which will be linked in the description, that they had declined several offers for Tanir in the past, but Tanir's contract had a clause where there was a buyout towards a specific team. Now, I am interpreting that to mean that Tanir indicated he wanted to play for Spirit and would accept a buyout from them, though it's not really clear if that's true or not. But other sources have intimated directly to HLTV that it does appear to be Team Spirit, and the buyout will be for $1.5 million. And that's a lot of money, but considering Tanir is one of the best rookies of the year, I think it makes a lot of sense for a team to swing big on it. I think everybody was predicting at some point that Tanir would move on to greener pastures, and once again, Heroic have fleeced more money out of the scene. Whether they get to field teams that actually do anything seems second to the fact that they are one of the best run organizations as far as businesses goes in esports. Holy shit. And listen, I think Fi hit the nail on the head over on Twitter. Heroic in the last year, Kicksan, Dexter, and Tessa, $6 million. Nerds, $1 million. Sunpius and Saw, $1 million plus. We don't have a definitive number on that one. And now Tanir for $1.5 million. Why the fuck would you want to win a tournament when you could just sell players instead? That is exactly right. This does definitely make Heroic a lot weaker, but at least they can still field a roster in the meantime because xCloud gets to come back off the bench. Maybe it gives more room for Nilo to break out as a superstar, and who knows what Alcaran can be. I don't really know much about him. But hey, Heroic, they've yet again made a giant pile of money, so I guess that's a win for them. In all seriousness though, money aside, this has been a very weird way for Heroic to handle themselves. I do have to agree with what I'm seeing online from other pundits, that they are not really giving Tobis the best foundation to work with as the new coach. Now some of this is outside of their control because of that clause. That means Spirit could have bought out Tanir assumedly at any point they wanted to. So this being in the middle of the season definitely isn't necessarily Heroic's fault, but they could have seen the writing on the walls and maybe just had xCloud come off the bench to begin with. That way you're not disrupting so much in the middle of the season, especially with Grix having exited the roster so soon after joining. It just feels like there's been no time for Heroic to establish themselves into the new season, and we've already played so many events. But that aside, what really matters now is Team Spirit, and this is an insane move on several levels. One, just one for one, Zontix, as much as I really like him, is not as good of a player as Tanir, obviously. So this is on paper now 2 significant firepower upgrades to put around Donk and Shiro, and considering that Spirit were already good enough to win the biggest tournaments in the world with Donk dropping 1.5s, if they can win events with Donk dropping 1.3s, suddenly things get much more realistic for them to win more tournaments. Now I will say, yes, Tanir is absolutely a better player than Zontix, though I do have to kind of play defense for Zontix here. He was not exactly the biggest problem with Spirit, especially lately. I've been very critical of Chomper and Magix, way more so than I have of Zontix. I actually think Zontix has done a good job of just getting better. Most of last year, he was hovering around a 1.05 rating. but he's steadily leveled up. Now he's averaging a 1.10, and he has significantly better impact in a lot of the games that I watch. He's slowly gotten better as an anchor on the CT side, and he's become quite the clutch player on the T side in all honesty. I really don't think he was necessarily a problem piece, but I also can't deny the reality that Tenier just does what he does better in terms of firepower. Now, there is one clear difference between the two players, especially if you go and compare their stats on something like Skybox Edge, and that's that Zontix is fantastic at getting impact out of his utility, something that Tenier, as kind of a younger player and someone who is much more the focal point in the system they used to play in, hasn't really had to focus on. So will Tenier be able to make that jump and become better at getting higher volume flash assists, nade damage, playing a bit more of a supportive role? That remains to be seen. Because the reality is, if you're on a team with Donk, you are never, ever, ever going to be the first consideration for resources. You have to be back on the back burner when you're talking about the best player in the fucking world. Look no further than Zwei, who had all the resources, all of the attention on Nemiga, but had to change up most of his roles as well as his priority within the pack when moving to Spirit, and we've already seen so far that the translation means he's not putting up the same kind of numbers. So will Tenier's numbers suffer underneath Spirit's system? That's certainly possible. In fact, what this move could be a great showcase for is what we might see out of the potential of Donk lineups in the future, and that's that will Donk make other players worse because of the fact that he is so good? Now stay with me for a second. What does that fucking mean, right? Because Donk is the best player in the world. That should mean that if you add more firepower, that team only gets so much better. But here's the thing. Not all firepower is created equal. Because of the finite number of resources in any given round, that means that certain kills need to be more prioritized, and you're always going to prioritize setting up Donk over someone like Tenier or Zwei. In effect, what can happen if I had to make a comparison to the NBA is that Spirit essentially have a heliocentric system. Donk is the entirety of this team, similar to like a Luka Doncic on the Mavericks in previous years. In this analogy, Donk is the primary ball handler. He's taking the highest volume of shots. He is the sole focus of the offense, and all the players around him need to adjust to uplift and make sure that Donk, or Luka in this case, gets the maximum amount of effectiveness he can out of his time on the floor. In CS terms, that means dropping him better weapons, maybe self-sacrificing in front of him on a peak, trying to flash and set him up over trying to get your own numbers. All of that means is pretty likely to me that we should see Tenier's numbers initially go down, and it'll be on Chomper and Holly to make sure that he still gets as much access to show why he's so good in the first place. Now, that is indeed more of a concern on the T side. On the CT side, you're much more autonomous. He's going to be playing a lot of the primary anchor roles, so I'm much less worried about Tenier getting his impact there. It's just, will he be initially limited on the T sides? That really remains as my biggest question mark. Other than that, I do think this is a slam dunk move. It makes Spirit scarier, it makes their firepower deeper, and really at this point, other than Chomper not necessarily being the deepest in-game leader in the world, you can make a very, very salient argument that Spirit have one of the best pound-for-pound rosters in the world if all their players play to their maximum effect. Shiro is at worst the 4th worst opera in the world, honestly 3rd with how far Muncie has slipped in recent months. Donk is Donk, Zwei has potential to be much better than Magix, Tenier can continue to be one of the best rookies of the year and definitely be better than Zontix, and then Chomper, again, not the best IGL in terms of strats, but he's one of the best IGLs in terms of fragging output. So at that point, who realistically is that much better than them other than maybe Falcons and currently Vitality? Like, if this move works out as well as it could on paper, Team Spirit are beyond threatening. They are beyond scary. Because again, you already have the trump card. You already have the one thing you need to win any series, any tournament, anytime, and that is Donk. The only thing you crave beyond that is consistency. And if Zwei and Tenier can pull off even like 90% of their potential in their other lineups, then oh my shit. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about this move in the comments down below. Can anybody stop Donk now that he has support? Who knows? If you guys enjoyed this kind of content, you can show me by leaving a like, leaving a comment down below, subscribe to the channel already. Help me at 10K subs by the end of the year. Thank you to Skins Monkey for sponsoring this video. Check the top link in the description. You can go trade on their website. Let them know I sent you their way. Make sure you guys go follow me on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2. Help me at 1,000 followers by the end of this week. Every little bit counts, so thank you for doing it. Thank you to my channel members, Justin, Jesse, Furley, Milan Berta, Bubblesj, Dr. Cocktor, Patatas Kaftesi, PTR, B1 Games, Cody Foxworthy, Justin Vandervate, I'm Flashbang, Snowy White, Rowdy, Vergil'sPlasticChair, LBKcs, Snax Enjoyer, Crunchywater, zerotwocs, and drudenae. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so. This was a Discord. Alright, bye. Peace.